Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And today is Tuesday. Yes it is. I'm following on from yesterday's haul from KSCRAFT, where I pulled a couple of items from the pile. That's basically what I've done and something that we're going to be making today. Right, the shoes. I said I wanted to do those little baby shoes and that we would find a secondary use for them. So the secondary use is what we're going to be making, and I've already made the baby shoes up once. We're going to be using the bib die, and with the bib die I use the stork icon from that set, and we're going to be using the rest of those icons in the project tomorrow. Right, so I've moved all of my dies out of the way, and the first thing I want to share is the baby shoes. Aren't they sweet? Now, I've got a bit of fluff there. That's unintentional, but I've used my little pearls. I'm trying to get in as close as I can, and oh yeah, clarity, there we go. And basil cardstock, and that rose pattern is from Laurie Whitlock, which is on the Snap Click Supply site. So it's a digital pack, and you just print off what you need and resize it as you need it. And I did actually resize this. I made this paper smaller, so it was smaller roses on the shoes, but I've used little pearls as my fasteners, a little pearl inside the little flowers, and those flowers, if I check my set here, I believe, I just want to make absolutely sure. Yeah, they come with the shoes. I was thinking they came with the bibs, but they come with the shoes. So you might need to check KSCRAFT's website, because I could be wrong on that as well. But aren't they sweet? This is the largest size. So I'm going to measure. I'm just going to grab my ruler. Oh, look at that. It's like going for a real shoe fitting. Isn't that sweet? Oh, and we are at 2 3/4. So our baby's feet are 2 3/4 inches. It is, isn't it? It's like going into the store and getting your feet measured. Yeah. Oh, you can tell I've had my coffee. Right. So I did the pair of little shoes, and I just think they're absolutely adorable. I'm going to try and stick with a lot of the same theme paper this week for doing the baby stuff, so that I can gift it all as one gift, and somebody will be able to send it to their grandchild or great grandchild. Right, so next up is the bib. I turn mine into a card, and if you watch my videos you know how I do that. I always cut two bases, which is the white bit that you see there, and I score into the second base and glue that so that this one, there you go, will lift up so that you like that. And I'm going to lift that up, and then your card will stand. So that's how I like to do my cards, real quick and easy. But just look at the detail in that. You've got that gorgeous bow, and there is another bow that you can layer on top of that one as well, but I left that like that. Put a big champagne coloured pearl in the middle, and here you can see how resizing the paper, do you see the size of that rose to that rose? So that's basically what I did for the little shoesies. I used the baby girl, there's that stalk, and the little heart that popped out of there, I popped it onto the wing, and I used a 1.5mm flat back there for the eye. But isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it really is. I mean, if you're having a baby and you receive that card in the post, oh, and if you wanted to go really, really over the top, yes, turn this into a full easel so that you've got a platform. And just imagine that there, and your little shoes are the easel stop. Wouldn't that look gorgeous? Oh, yes, it's melting my heart, it is. It's so sweet. So there's the little shoes, and there's the little card, and I will measure the card, and I'll do that from the back so that I don't get the bow in. So that is, make sure I get my centre one, there it is. That is just shy of 5.5 inches, and then I'm going to say that is the widest part at 4.5 inches. But it's just absolutely gorgeous and all layered up, so chunky. Yes, love it. Right, so little shoes and little bib, and now the second use for the shoes, because of course if you're sending to a little girl, the little girl's going to grow up, so we need something for when the little girl grows up. So that's what I've done here, and I decided to use purple because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but not a lot of people use purple in crafting unless it's Halloween, so I decided to use purple. So I've cut out two soles of the shoes there, and I've used purple, and then I've used some scaled down again. This is gingham. Oh, my camera's playing up. I'm going to get in real close, move out, there you go. And I scaled it down to be tiny, and I cut it in purple, and I cut it in my printed gingham paper. And the reason for that is because you want something a little bit more solid so that this doesn't show through. And that is my lovely lilac ribbon, so you can see where I'm going here. Now that obviously is going to lay onto there, and exactly with that one, but before we do that we need to get our ribbons, because now we're going to turn them into a pair of ballet slippers. So the little girl's grown up and now she's doing ballet. Yeah, oh dear, I can see her life passing before my eyes. So we're going to cross the ribbons underneath, and then we're going to bring them up for the tie. So just make sure that you're getting it where you want it. Now I may have to run off for a little bit because you know me and my humidity, and if it's ribbon it does need to dry, so I can roughly see there where I want it. I want to go from that point there to about that point there. So I'm just going to pick my ribbon up, which is floppy of course, and I'm going to glue it there, and I'm going to glue it there. Now that may or may not stay, I'm not sure, but I did cut 4 pieces. So now I want to go into that point there, and then I'm going across, and I'm going to go that point there. Now sadly my ribbon does have a few creases in it, which is not good. It was the way that I stored it, so I'm going to try and pull it taut, but you can see what I mean here. So I'm going to vanish while it dries. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so while I was gone I glued the other one exactly the same, just to save time, and now we need to flip them over and glue them onto the soles. So here we go, and we want our ribbon to hang out from the edge of the shoe, and when I flip it over you'll see why. So we're going all the way around there. Add a little bit of glue just to the edges of those ribbons, just to hold it in place, because a little girl is just going to want to play with this, so you want to make sure it's secure. So I want to make sure that's straight, so I'm going to slide that over. But do you see what I mean about having your double thickness of card, so that you haven't got that ugliness of the line of the ribbon showing through, so that it's nice and solid. If you've got some nice satin fabric, you could certainly you know, use a large sheet of double-sided adhesive and bond some satin down, and that will go through your die cut machine, and then you'll have little satin ballet shoes, and that would look really pretty, especially with an embroidered rose on the front. You know, those little tiny roses that you can get on AliExpress. Right, so there's one, and now we need to do the other. And so what I'll do is I'll just run off and do this one. Right, so I think those are dry enough to handle, and then all we need to do then is take our ribbons up to the top, just fold them over gently, and you want to have just a little bit of play in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a little bit of glue in that area. So I'm just going to flip the cap on this, pop a blob of glue there, and I'm going to cross it over because I want a little bit of play because when you stick these onto a card or a tag, you want some movement. Right, you've seen what I just did there, and I'm going to do it to the other one and come straight back. Right, now I will tell you, this is not 100% dry, so I'm still struggling with this, sticking onto my ribbon. But if you can understand what I mean, once you want to attach it to your card and it's glued straight, you're going to, you know, pull it down so that your ribbon is a little bit taut. Pop your little slippers up on some foam pads or something, and then you're going to cut your ribbon at the length that you want it. So if I pick those up, whether they be dry or not, I'm going to try and pull them to show you, and it might just pop open. Oh, it didn't, but it might. But imagine that on a card. Little pair of ballet slippers. So you've got something there for a baby, and then a couple of years later you can use it again, and you can make some little pretty ballet slippers to go on tags or cards. And then of course there's that gorgeous bib. Oh, I just love that. Anyway, I thank you so much for joining me today. I always do. As usual, all links below, and do have an absolutely awesome day. Back again tomorrow with more from KSCRAFT. Bye.